now to Northwestern Polytechnic. So we got degree granting status at our college. So that's a new thing for us. Just maybe not even a month or so. Like, so all my PowerPoints and stuff there. To get the and so I wanted to get the associate. So actually, I met Mike at the Global Trainers Conference in Milwaukee one year. We started talking about it, about what it'd be like to come do the course with Fscc and see what's different here and how it's done and versus what I do at home. And so I'm actually on leave with financial assistance from my college. So this is like my sabbatical to come and do this.
Oh, cool.
And then go back there. And then I sold it to my college with the prospect that, well, so I'm doing the other courses kind of online. I did a couple last semester. I've done a couple, like one last semester, two in the back this time last year, and I got lots of credit for. I did 2 years Bachelor of Fine Arts, so I got my arts and humanities stuff credit. We're gonna finish here in a couple weeks. I think we got 3 weeks of classes left, and then well, I gotta do the. Just like work in shop with practical, and then I'll learn my degree. So I'm hoping that'll set me up. We have a very well laid out collective agreement through our college, so I'm hoping that will loop it up for at least 1%. The guys that have two trades. So yeah, you guys understand me through my thick Canadian accent.
Question. Now, are you affiliated with Harley Davidson in Milwaukee?
So I don't work for Milwaukee. I work for.
No, I mean your school or your.
Yes, we're accredited by Harley Davidson.
Okay.
So we're a partner with theirs, and they have overseen our 15 certificate course.
So it's really about the same thing we do here.
Pretty close. Just we kind of arranged it different, so it all fits in one semester instead of. But it's bursting at the seams. It's 15 weeks is a really tight, and I got to push really hard, like to get guys through sometimes. So, to make everything get through in a week. If you miss a day, you won't get all the tasks done in a week.
What's the riding season?
Oh, I've ridden in May, and there's still snow in the ditches.
Yeah.
We usually May long is the last weekend of May, and you're guaranteed to have snow May long. If it doesn't come on the May long weekend when everyone's up camping, it'll come a week later in June. And mid-October, the lakes are getting crunchy.
Yeah. So
there's that kind of June, July, August, September, and you might push it into October, maybe 2 more weeks.
Okay. Yeah. You put studs on the tires in the winter?
No, there is
ice racing.
There was ice racing. There was a big ice racing, and the college used to participate in it. They had a 24-hour ice race. It was on George Lake, so 20 minutes away. So for 24 hours, you do as many laps as you can on the track in the third week of January, which is always minus 40s. So just So ice spikes and tires and all that stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So have you been here in the summer yet?
I got here in August.
Oh, yeah. So you got that
I started in
experience.
mid-August, so yeah, it doesn't get that hot where I'm from. It doesn't get to 30 degrees centigrade.
Yeah.
And it was in the high 30s here when I got here in
Yeah.
August. So yeah, I mean, I've seen it that hot from going to Toronto or going to Arizona in the summer or Las Vegas in April, that kind of thing. But yeah, it's not what I was used to, that's for sure. Luckily, my apartment has air conditioning.
Okay. Well, I hope it works out for you.
So far so good.
Yeah, but that's a neat story. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks.
And we appreciate having him because it's one more resource the students have.
Oh, sure.
So 2 students and 2 teachers we have, Mike, we have that. So it's great.
Yeah, there isn't much that I haven't taught already. many times that we're coming to. So I guess for swag, anybody wants some swag? I got stickers from my college, some Harley
Oh,
stickers.
there's
I got
one, yeah.
magnets and stuff, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? There was one thing, we do a Harley Davidson raffle every year. So we raffle off a brand new Harley Davidson. So we have a dealer that's kind of sold it to us at cost, I think. And then we do a Harley raffle.
Still
So
chances.
yeah,
Yeah.
we basically sell, I would think 500 or 600 tickets. We cap it to that number, at $100 a ticket.
Yeah.
And so 500 tickets, at $100 ticket is 50,000, so basically twice the price of the bike.
Yeah.
And then we have other stuff as well, so they'll have us, like, I think $1,000 in others, so like 300 and 700 for and we do like a clothing thing from the dealerships and a learn to ride course. So we do, we have like a riding lessons through our college, in Grand Prairie mostly. And our colleges are, it's almost eerie being here because GPRC Grand Prairie is about an hour and a little bit away from Fairview. So we're kind of like the satellite, but we've actually, Fairview College has been there longer before GPRC. So coming here, going up to the main campus is like, it's like going to Fairview before it became made and before we've had other partners. So it's like going to Fairview in the old days. But then it's similar that you guys have, we have a big mothership up the road and then the Harley where we do the trade stuff kind of down here. And so, yeah, it feels like home. It's like, it's really similar to what I'm used to. So, yeah.
I like the idea of that, the raffle thing. We really ought to do something like that.
And we promote with the stickers, so they'll do a mail out and they put stickers in the mailing and contact that they, and then so little trick, you gotta watch your P's and Q's with the handling, like the AGLC, Alberta.
Depends on, yeah, it's state to state as to how that, yeah.
So, yeah, that's something that we use to raise funds for, because we always need new motorcycles and we always need new engines, we always need new turbos. Because Harley doesn't stop. There always new stuff. So we're lucky that being a PhD partner, teaching the professional Harley Davidson, that's a PhD. They're always, we got to train the technicians in the dealerships on the new stuff that's coming out. So as it gets a little older, it kind of hand-me-downs to the certificate course as well.
Excellent.
Yeah. If you guys got any more questions, I'll give you guys some stickers here. Yeah,
Sure.
Thank you so much.
sure.
Okay. Do we have any comments from the public? If none,
So anything was when they would let-
okay. Now, we did tour,
That's all right.
we're gonna tour the CTEC facility. Is that too soon? I mean, you want to, somebody else not finished with their food?
I'm just grazing.
You're just grazing.
We're good.
All right, so let's do that.
That's cool.
Well, I do appreciate everybody coming down. I appreciate these work, kind of
Oh, yeah,
work.
nice.
I hope,
Thank you.
but we do a lot of great things happen down here. We have 4 programs for Fscc Community College: welding, masonry, carpentry, and HVAC. And as Alicia referenced to Pittsburgh High School Auto Tech, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we're the only community college in the state of Kansas that has masonry, if I'm not mistaken. So,
But I'm aware of it.
and so we have a lot of good things going on. I did have a conversation, and we'll go walk off that baked potato. But had a conversation with some of my high school. We get high school students here who just absolutely hate school. And then they get here and it's like, oh, I don't hate this school. I hate sitting in a classroom with a textbook. Students that don't like math, but then they get out here and they're doing math all the time. We're just having that conversation with them, and some of them are partway through a carpentry certificate. One finishes carpentry certificate, and they were asking me if they should get another certificate, should they finish? And a few years ago, I would have told them differently. I would have said, well, it's tough because right now the job market is so good, you can get paid and go on the job and learn. But I had the opportunity to say, with the cost of materials and what's going on, that's gonna change, and you having a or carpentry certificate and a masonry certificate is gonna make, and work experience is gonna make you employable, because those jobs are it's gonna change. And all three of them, you know, I said, nobody told me when I was 18 to be looking at what's going on in the housing market if my job is going to be affected by it. So they were real appreciative. And I think all three of them decided, yep, let's go ahead and get both of those certificates, because it's going to change and things are really good. But there's going to come a time when having those two certificates, and then they're one step away from getting their associate's degree. And so I try to let them know we've got plenty of options to get off. If you just want a carpentry certificate, go to work, come back, get a masonry certificate, you go to work. Those two together with some gen eds get you an associate's degree. Associate's degree gets you over to Pitt State 2+2. So that's real appealing. And some of these 18-year-olds want to get to work, but after 2 years of work, they may be like, you know, that associate's degree doesn't sound so bad now. Or another couple of years at Pitt State, and I've got a bachelor's. I'm you know, so, but yeah, it's really good. So let's go take a walk, and we'll start out in the welding shop. We do have a night class welding, so there'll be some noise out there, but
You guys don't have those.
Why was he?
The tour's open to the public, right?
Of course. Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Well, that was what's from John's and then my. Okay, thank you.
That's fine.
Yeah.
What? Oh, that's
She said.
Yeah.
Is he in Joplin, is that right? Or is he? I think he's in Joplin.
I didn't know she had a brother.
This is the Omri one, right?
Hotter than she is.
Pokey, I think is what they call him.
That's somebody called here.
That's okay, we're streaming it. Anybody that's still watching.
Okay. Consent agenda. Approval of the agenda. B, approval of minutes of previous meetings. Attached are the minutes of the board work session, the regular board meeting conducted on March 21st, 2022. Approval of treasurer's report, bills and claims. Attached are the treasurer's report and the bills and claims report. Approval of personnel actions. Transfers. Tom Havron from Vice President of Student Affairs and Athletic Director to Vice President of Student Affairs and Foundation Director, effective upon hire and training of a new athletic director. Separations. Denisa Rivas, music instructor, effective May 14, 2022. It is recommended the consent agenda items be approved as presented. Is there any discussion? I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
It's been double moved, double seconded. So, Julie, would you call for the vote, please?
Elliot,
Yes.
Hewens, Hart,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Bartlesmeyer.
Yes. Can we move on to the, what page is that? 150? I'm about there. Yes, yes, page 150. Okay. Item A, consider it. Is everybody with me? Okay. Did you?
Yeah.
Okay. Consideration of Greyhound Lodge renovation bids. Maintenance and student life have recognized a need for improvements to the Greyhound Lodge. After review by Jared Keelan and Marcy Myers, a list of needs for each room was compiled. This renovation will this renovation will consist of outside door replacement, 23 of those, and updating of 15 bathrooms. Considering the other projects on campus this summer and the amount of work and short time frame, this renovation would include a request for proposal was published in the Fort Scott Tribune. Fort Scott Community College will be purchasing the fixtures, doors, and major supplies needed so that these can be standardized with other facilities. Elite Construction provided the only bid received for renovation. It is recommended that the board approve Elite Construction Service Incorporated proposal for $43,310. And right off the bat, I have a question. Who is Elite Construction Service?
I can't remember his name. We required all the companies that wanted to be able to come meet with Jared and walk through the facilities so that we could meet them. I'm sorry, John, I can't remember what his name is.
Okay, well,
It's Derek and Dylan Haldeshelt, I believe.
Okay, Jared sounds familiar.
okay, I know it says 609 West 6th Street, so it's got to be the old ice plant building. I think that's what that is.
No, it's just west of the old Curves building. He's real close to Horton.
Oh, okay, all right. I thought it was further west than that. So.
One of the reasons we went out for bid is because it will require a crew of about 3 to 4 men. And we didn't feel like we could manage that with the maintenance staff and all the other projects to get that done. We have about at the most, a 2.5 month time frame there to do the doors and the renovation. As you notice, the doors are 23, which is 1 for each room that needs to be replaced. Very worn, the frames are giving out, that type of thing. So we're gonna reframe them in. The 15 bathroom remodels, they went through and looked, well, first of all, the southeast section, the short section of the building has already been redone. So they're not having near the fixture problems and bathroom leaks and floor collapsing into the bath and that type of thing. The north end, the northwest end that has 15 rooms on it, they went through each room with a checklist, Marcy and Jared, and identified what needed to be fixed in each room. So if it's a total remodel, that is included. If it's just, the shower and bath need replaced, then that is all that is requested. But, there is a lot of, the fixtures are old. They are the, original fixtures when we purchased it, and now that you get each room full of at least 2 students, they give out with that kind of wear and tear and daily usage. So, we've had quite a challenge this year of repairing the ones that have broke down and keeping them up and going. And so we decided that we would go through and remodel and replace those.
Did we, as we were looking at this, companies need to have licensing or bonding or any qualifications like that in order to submit a bid?
We do ask them for a certificate of liability
Okay.
for insurance coverage.
Okay.
I personally did not think about bonding, but we can ask for that too.
Okay.
Before when we call to give the approval, if you guys approve it.
I was just curious.
Yeah.
But Brian, do you know these people? You just said you thought you knew who they were. How to Shelt? Okay.
Yeah, I know Derek. He's, he did some work at our house years ago. But that's been.
Okay.
I can tell you they were really cute little kids.
Did they get their training down here?
I don't know what happened after the 5th grade. I kind of lost track.
Okay. Okay.
Well, I Googled Elite Construction because I wondered who it was too.
Okay.
And just, that's how I found out who it was.
Okay. Well, I'm with Dave. I think they should be,
Bonded and
yeah, bonded.
insurance.
I mean, I don't know about the rest of people, whatever you think, but it'd make me feel more comfortable.
Well, it kind of protects everybody.
Yes. That's what made me more comfortable. Okay. Any more discussion or questions? Julie, would you call for the vote?
Don't think we've.
have a
moved.
motion?
Well,
I'll
I'm
move-
sorry.
I'll move it with the bonding.
Thank you.
Second, assuming that there is one.
Yeah, they can get bonded and they've got their insurance already. So I guess if they're not willing, then we'll put it back out.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Julie, would you call for the vote?
Fewens, Elliott,
Yes.
Hart,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Bartlesmeyer.
Yes. Item B, consideration of memorandum of understanding with Southeast Kansas Educational Service Center, Greenbush. Following is a memorandum of understanding between Fort Scott Community College and Southeast Kansas Education Service Center, Greenbush. This agreement continues the existing framework for Fort Scott Community College dual credit courses offered through Greenbush. It is recommended that the board approve the memorandum of understanding with the Southeast Kansas Education Service Center for dual credit courses through Greenbush Blending Learning Programs. Is there any discussion or are there any questions?
This, we set this up, I don't know, probably 6 years ago. As you guys know, John serves on the Greenbush Board of Trustees. Fort Scott Community College is one of the founders of Greenbush. Us and 4 high schools. And that, so we do have quite a bit of interaction with Greenbush. And this just allowed us to sort of benefit better from some of our relationships with them. They hire the instructor and those instructors are all approved, have masters in their curricular area. And they teach a lot of the sciences and things like that to smaller school districts that don't have that. And typically they will come to the school district to do some, hands-on experience. Like if we're talking chemistry, they'll do some labs. They do physics. It's kind of interesting, like little high school. Some of you probably know where Cedarvale is over there, just west of Sedan. And we actually do quite a bit with them. So it's not too much, but it's a benefit. Uniontown takes advantage of it some. And so it's just a small program that gives more options to some of our, especially really rural students.
And I have to admit, I am overwhelmed by what Greenbush does. And it is a fantastic organization. And every time we have a meeting, they always put on a program, and I just can't believe all the good things they do for students. So,
Zach's not here, so I'll say this. I always tell Zach, I can write a contract because I can Google, so I don't need an attorney. No. Until I do, you know how that works. We need him a lot. So. I have a sister that's an attorney too. I love to tell her that. I don't need you. I got Google.
okay. Is there any further discussion? I'll entertain a motion.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Julie, would you call for the vote, please?
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Bartlesmeyer,
Yes.
Elliott,
Yes.
Hewens.
Okay, item C, consideration of food service agreement. Great Western Dining has been contracted as the cafeteria food service provider for a number of years. Following is a renewal contract for a 5-year term beginning June 1st, 2022. It is recommended that the board approve the food service agreement with Great Western Dining. Go ahead.
Sorry, I might just direct you to where it says investment to the college. We talked a little bit about this last time and then tabled it, I think. So they're going to contribute $100,000 to the renovation. And that, of course, will be $50,000 a year. No, that's not right. How much?
$20,000.
I'm like 50, that'd be more than that for 5 years. Sorry.
Get them to do
20, I guess I need to take Chris's math class. $20,000 a year. And like I said, I felt like, I think we talked about this, 10 years was a little bit too long, but 5 years seemed to work out. I did want you to know that just because, even though that's the investment, these prices change every year in terms of meals. And as you can imagine, they have gone up quite a bit this year. So I'd be happy to answer any questions, or Julie would be. I can say that we're very pleased with Great Western this time. We have a manager in there that's doing a really nice job. I don't know if you've had an opportunity to be in there, but we do have cheeseburger Fridays, and that's a great deal. And what I love is we have the salad bar back. So.
Probably the things that, you know, well, people are quite satisfied.
I don't know who Clarendon College is, but if you terminate this agreement before it's expired, they're gonna have to pay these guys back.
I was gonna say, Clarendon is in Oklahoma, Texas, and they actually have a nice meats team down there. I told him but I did notice this at one place that it said that he obviously has, had draft on.
Oh, yeah,
last year,
yeah,
like
no, I
take that off
understand
of there, so. I'll tell him again. Sorry. Yeah, they're out of Texas.
What is
They're
that?
great beast judging. program.
Is that on the contractual thing?
Well, where I signed, I looked, it actually said Fort Scott Community College, but somewhere in there, where is it? It
It's in
says,
the investment to the college in
Yeah.
the second paragraph.
Oh,
It's
I
basically
was gonna say
saying you have to
somewhere in there.
reimburse them if you get out of the contract early.
And sure enough, there it is.
That's gonna work out.
Yeah, win-win in some regard.
Thank you, Brian, good point.
I found it, yeah, there it is. Okay.
I didn't, I honestly didn't read that second paragraph. I thought I saw it somewhere else in there too.
Okay.
He obviously has a sort of standard contract.
Obviously, that's.
Look at Lambo.
I was just complaining about a letter that I got today applying for a job that was obviously something like that too.
Is there any more discussion? I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second. It's been moved and seconded. Julie, would you call for the vote, please?
Holt,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Carlson,
Yes.
Elliott.
Yep.
Hewens, Park,
Yes.
Yeah, with the correction about the clearing. Okay. Item D, confirmation of emeritus status for retirees. The title of emeritus may be granted to a member of the faculty, administration, or support staff if the college employee has served Fort Scott Community College with distinction for 15 or more years and has retired from Fort Scott Community College. Candidates shall be nominated by the president of Fort Scott Community College and confirmed by the Fort Scott Community College Board of Trustees. President Johnston has nominated the following retirees for emeritus status: Deborah Cummings, Kathy Malone, and Darlene Wood. It is recommended that the board approve emeritus status for the above retirees. Is there any discussion? Then I would entertain a motion.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Julie, would you call for the vote?
Nelson,
Yes.
Carlson,
Yes.
Elliott,
Yes.
Hewens, Park,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Letters or items for review, letters, correspondence.
Yeah, I can.
I mean, yeah, it's.
I hope you had an opportunity to look at those super cute pictures. Did you see those? That I got those in a manila envelope and Julie graciously put them in the packet. What happens is every year the rodeo team, they kind of sponsor a little, like workshop day. It's not a workshop, but the kids come out. They do some projects, of course. This year they also are giving them dirt for their raised gardens there at the school. So the kids drew these pictures, which they are amazing, aren't they? And they're so colorful. What I like about them is they like fill up the whole page. I'm like, wow, I really like that. So but I thought that was really sweet. Julie M just loved them. So
it makes my heart happy.
Yeah.
Especially the one, thank you for coming to teach us to rope cattle.
yeah.
But someone should tell them that's not just
CADL. I got it. Did you hear me say that? Cattle, CADL. And the L is maybe even backwards too, so that's great.
I like
Okay.
the one that says howdy.
I know.
Yeah, I love it.
That was-
Howdy.
I was gonna
Yeah, there
say,
you go.
too, with her favorites, look at this one, howdy. That's this one, it's so cute, he's the horse.
Especially with the upside down horse above it. Now,
I-
what's that horse doing up there?
Yeah, and it's like an upside down unicorn.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah?
I guess unicorns can do that.
Yeah.
One smile.
I know, I love that. Yeah. Yeah. That's a lot of fun. The next one, of course, is from the Bourbon County Arts Council, who sponsors, of course, their event there each year at the Fine Arts Building. It is a fun show to go see. And this year, I guess they had like 125 pieces, I think is what it says in there. So it was a very nice show. Gordon Parks is next. Of course, the Gordon Parks director, Kirk, of course, Sharp, they were in Manhattan last Wednesday. I think several people got right up. I know that Jim Hewens did, and they visited the Beach Museum that's there on the K-State campus that was exhibiting Gordon Parks memorabilia. And so that was a really nice event. Kirk does a great job with Gordon Parks, and they're always doing something. He's having a photographer in here before long that everybody's invited to come see, that's going to show how to do some types of photography that is more unique, in terms of kind of at least to a degree, emulate some of the things that Gordon Parks would do. So, Janet's not here tonight, and so she didn't have her people do anything. But I can tell you that, the admissions and advising office over there is very, very busy. Enrollment began right the week after spring break, is that right, Tom? Yeah, the week after spring break. Honestly, I don't know what enrollment will do. It's pretty average compared to last year at this time. I do think, as Chris said, that we will see an increase for sure in our high school enrollment, because now that we've passed the pandemic, the high schools are getting their sort of schedule figured out. During the pandemic, our hardest hit enrollment were our high school students, because it was hard to figure out to get their schedule to work at the high school, let alone send them to a tech center. And so that was a difficult thing. But I can tell you that one of the reasons that it's increasing is because we do a really good job with our tech programs at Fort Scott here, especially due to Chris and his people, Santos and his people, and also in Lynn County, we do some tech stuff, of course, up at Miami County as well. Julie, are you next? Oh, I guess Adam's got something in here.
I put a report in and included updates from each department. We are slowing down the financial aid, reaching the end of refunds and student financial aid. We're just getting that done. Any questions on what was put in there? Maintenance put in a good report of what they're doing. They always have lots of things. Business office, as far as we have sent out statements, as far as last fall, we've sent those out twice now. We've reviewed them and sent them out. And then for this spring, we're in the process of doing as well the first round. So our thought was sending them out now. We might, for those that haven't completed their financial aid, they might take us up on that bill when they see it and decide to answer some of our requests for documents and that type of thing. But overall, all in all, we did a very good job and kind of winded down for the semester and winded up in the business office for audit, that type of thing. So, any questions?
Thank you.
Baseball and softball and golf are all in their conference season. And so if you guys haven't had a chance to make it out to the new fields yet, please do so before the beginning of May, because it's a lot of fun out there. They look really great and the teams are playing well. Track and field just got back from the Mount Sac relays, where they fundraised for that trip, which is in Sacramento. And so it was a good trip for them to be able to get a small group to be able to fundraise and go way over there and represent us on the West Coast. And they did very well over there. And so hopefully that'll help our recruiting on the West Coast as well, because we do bring in quite a few from the South and the East. And so hopefully that works out well. Cheer has returned from nationals. I see Alicia put something in her update about them advancing to nationals and getting runner-up at regionals. They did well down there. It was a great trip for them. And it was the first time that a lot of these kids have been able to actually do a really competitive cheer competition like that. We have a couple football players who are on the cheer team, and they thought it was the best thing that's ever happened to them. And that we're able to actually, two of our former football players secured Division I cheer scholarship offers at that competition. And so we're happy about how that program has progressed and moved forward. We had the foundation/endowment dinner last week. That was good. I had a lot of donors meet a lot of the students that are recipients of those scholarships. And everything went fairly well. Thanks to Robert for coming to that. And you know, as always, was very soft-spoken with the invocation, and we appreciate him getting up in front of the crowd and doing that.
I think Kirk was there too. That's fine.
Kirk was there, yeah, right in front of me. But I think everybody had a good time and we were able to, get it over fairly quickly and keep the lull out of the crowd, so it was good. Other than that, we're collecting applications for the dorms. The dorm applications look very good. We're looking to be at capacity, probably slightly over capacity moving in the fall, which is a great sign. And we will keep you guys updated as any more projects like that go into the dorms as summer moves forward.
Thank you.
Just like right on. I did want to introduce you to Vicky later. Since Vicky's here, she's usually not here. We'll put her on the spot. Vicky does all of our CNA, CMA. She's our Director of Allied Health. And you want to say anything about what you do?
Oh, we're just busy, busy, busy. We,
Lots of students.
this spring, in the fall, we did the online CNA class for Crawford County Schools. So that was Pittsburgh, Frontenac, Arma, and Girard. And I had 15 kids, very happy. When we put them all together like that, everybody gets an opportunity. And then we have a really good class, big class. So it all made, and then they all passed their state test. Of course, up at Miami County, I have my high schools up there. Natalie and Darkus are doing really good at Fort Scott. The main campus there, and Darkus always has her 8-week CNA and CMA classes, the short for the adults and any other high school kids. So coming up in the summer, I have a summer class up at Miami County, and OC Tyler is my instructor at the Harley building. She's already full capacity at the Harley building, teaching CNA classes. Darkus is teaching an online CNA class and a CMA class at Fort Scott, and we'll do the clinicals and learning labs and things like that up there. So we have lots of enrollment. People are getting excited again. I'm going to have another online class for the Lane County kids up there. So that would include Pleasanton and Jayhawkland and Prairie View students. So we'll have 2 online classes going on for the high school kids. So they're very excited, very happy that they can do that, and that we were able to offer that to their kids, and they can do the classroom part online, and then they'll have to come to one of our learning labs we can offer that at Harley for the Crawford County people, and up at Paola for the Paola kids, and then Jayhawkland will either come to Fort Scott, and Lane County kids will come to Fort Scott, or Paola, whichever is closest for them. So it's just good numbers, good increase. Happy.
All right.
Vicky does a great job. I tell you, it was a very difficult process when trying to do CNA clinic, as you can imagine, in the extended care facilities. And you can imagine it was very difficult, but we got through it. Made it happen, and continued all through that. And so you can see how creative and flexible and willing to work with our students and also our facilities that people are, because that was quite a feat to try to keep that all going. So, and we have a lot of clinical sites. They're in Fort Scott. We work, of course, with Fort Scott High School, Uniontown High School. We work with a lot of high schools as well as many adults. CNA is also, of course, a requirement for our nursing students as well. I also want to take the time, of course, to thank Chris, and thank you, Mike, for coming down, and the rest of the people. Like I talked to you about, this really is about, doing what's best for students, and we would like to emulate this in other places, and maybe someday we'll be able to do so. It wouldn't be possible without Chris, without the instructors, without Santos. We just wouldn't be able to do the things that we do down here in Crawford County without great folks. And I very, very much appreciate what they do. We don't say it often enough, and they do have their Swiss bank account. You can pay her so much.
All I can say is, if you're ever in town, just go to the casino. It helps us all out.
Yeah, and that
Kansas Crossing's been huge.
that money every year pays the bills down here. And we have talked about, though, when that goes away, what is the sustainability? And so we have been working on that. We're 5 years out. We have a committee that's starting to work on how we're going to do that. Hopefully Kansas Crossing will re-up, but who knows? And so if that goes away, then we will have to have a plan B, which would be, and I think school districts are on board, that school districts would have to pay a little bit, or otherwise we wouldn't be able to do this. The way it works, I remind Chris of this a lot. Fort Scott pays about 3/4 of his salary. That's telling. And
Semblance of my work.
Oh, excellent,
Just
excellent comeback.
Yeah.
you're on, yeah. And then CTEC pays about a third, but it's a wonderful, like I said, model of how we can work together to best serve the community and of course and the students. I really don't have a lot other than that. Of course, we're excited about Bernita Hill being our honorary associate degree winner. She's perfect for it. She's excited about it. So at graduation, we'll have 9 o'clock graduation, and we will honor Bernita there, and we will honor Darlene Wood as emeritus staff at that time. And then at the, is it noon or 11? It's noon. 11.
No, noon.
Noon. At the noon ceremony, the emeritus staff of Kathy Malone and Deb Cummings will be honored because it's for the students that they would have had in class, and then also our distinguished alumni, which is Steve Armstrong. So we are excited about all those things. We are keeping a running sort of photo journal of the Bailey Hall construction and sending information to the Baileys so we can keep them updated on what's going on. If you ever want to stop by, it's hard to get in there. I do have a hard hat in my office, so you do have to have, I think, probably have to have a hard hat to get in there. But if you don't have one, stop by and I can get you a hard hat. Right now, it's pretty much just gutted. I don't know. We haven't gotten a lot of forward movement. We had a little issue they did with the fire marshal. They hadn't gone all the way up with some of the sheeting or the wall, drywall, and they actually, I think our maintenance staff did some of that for them. I believe that their foreman or their superintendent was on vacation and the guys that were working didn't quite get the appropriate instruction about what needed to be done for the fire marshal. But we're out from underneath that, so hopefully moving forward, it puts a lot of pressure on our timeline though. So we're hoping, that we'll be at least to the point where we're kind of getting back in there once school starts, and then completion is supposed to be October 1st. Really, that's the new timeline. So, but like I said, if you ever want to drop in there, just feel free and get your hard hat and go on in. I really don't have anything else. I will be out tomorrow. The Kansas Board of Regents is at Fort Hays, and so I'll be out there. Next week on Monday, we'll be at Kansas. It's the Kansas Junior College. What do we call it? Conference. KJCCC.
Oh.
Jayhawk. I couldn't think of Jayhawk. It's because the Jayhawks, I try to push those out of my mind.
Because tomorrow for the sweet treat thing, my treats will be beautifully displayed on my cave platter. I can't wait. I'll have to get it out early before you head west.
All I've got to say is Adidas. Okay.
Moving on.
Moving right along.
Yeah, and so since Chris just reminded me, can you give him a little update on our ELTT?
Certainly. And we talked about it, I guess, in our last meeting some. I contacted a local legislature who helped me kind of with a roadblock we had on becoming a third-party testing site. And so the gentleman who I spoke with at the Department of Revenue he had me call him, and we've set up a meeting for Thursday of this week. He's going to come down, look at what the outline was that I shared with you last time, and walk through kind of everything we need to know to become an ELDT third-party testing site. So we'll be able to at least start on the process because we now know what to expect. And I think it's going to be good. He was, he did a little research on some things with Fort Scott history and said, I think we're good to go. Let's get moving on it. And so he actually was excited about the opportunity to have something in Southeast Kansas for that third-party testing site. So I'm sure there are plenty of important rules to follow. And I certainly understand that because I wouldn't want to put out someone who's going to run my wife and son off the road at some point. So I think it's important that we do it. And, I'm with him all the way. Whatever it takes for us to do it exactly right is what we want to do. And so I'm looking forward to that meeting so we know how we can proceed from there. And then I don't know what the timeline is with workforce aid, but I do know that Blake Benson, who is on our CTEC board of directors, sent an email to several local trucking companies. So we will have letters of support from them and then the ability to go from there. And then Dan Boley, who is also on our board of directors, he has done work and got the Fort Scott, the tractor running. They've driven it around. There's a couple of things he told me that they needed to look at a little bit more on it. And then it'll be a matter of getting the trailer ready to go. So he's making good progress on that. He's gotten slowed down because they're busy, but our whole timeline's got pushed back a little bit, but I think it's smart to be aggressive up front with our timeline so that we can, and I would expect sometime here this summer, I'll know more after Thursday, I guess, on when we would be able to kind of get that going. And yeah, I'm kind of excited. I think there's definitely a high demand for it right now. Yes.
I'm very excited that we are going to be able to do that. The work that waste management, Dan Boley, is done, that will be an in-kind donation. And so he can put students through the program. We are still working on the workforce aid, which is a program through the Department of Commerce. In talking with the Department of Commerce and the Kansas Board of Regents, they've asked me to hang on until somebody new gets in there. And so you'll recall that we had somebody there that we had agreed on a bunch of stuff with, and then she got another job, and they have an interim in there who maybe didn't see things like she did. And so we're waiting to move on that. And so I think that is really good. As you probably know, several of us were at the HLC conference. I know I updated you a little bit about it. I did think it was a good conference. I think we're certainly moving in the right direction. As always, I want to thank you guys. One of the things, you always pick up some things there, but one of the things that they talked about is that, a lot of boards sometimes, not a lot, but some, they find that decisions that allow the college to be positioned for the long term, those are hard decisions to make. And as a president, I can tell you those are hard decisions to make. And I know that what I tell you and you have to vote on that can be hard, but those are the things that move us forward. Those are the things that are going to pay off. Those sort of sustainable things. That doesn't mean that I'm always right or that you're always right, but we can make those long-term decisions that move us forward. And then we can look and say, okay, well, maybe this piece of it is not working. We can move in a different direction there. Short-term decisions are pretty easy sometimes because you get that sort of immediate satisfaction that you can see what's happening and you can please some people right away, which we all want to do, but cannot always do. And so it's always nice to go to those conferences and realize that there are some things that you're doing right. And it can be rewarding to see that sometimes we are ahead of some of the other schools, especially when it comes to accreditation, being able to work collaboratively and to be able to see sort of what's in the future. My new favorite quote from the conference is Wayne Gretzky. I talked about this at the endowment dinner, the great academic guy that he is, said that you should always skate to where the puck is going to be, not where the puck is. And so if you're to be successful, always skate to where the puck is going to be. If you can just.
That's right.
Yeah, the Canadian way.
Gretzky played for the Oilers, always in my grandparents' house when they lived in Edmonton. So we lived in Red Deer, but not.
Oh, really?
And then when I lived in Edmonton for a while, I got lost because over that summer, they changed the name from Capilano Drive to Gretzky Drive.
Oh,
So I was looking for the exit to Capilano, and I got lost, I didn't take the Gretzky.
you didn't know
Drive.
Gretzky was.
Excuse me. I was on my motorcycle, and I was on the far end of town, I wasn't familiar with, so.
That's interesting, very interesting. Well, he's my new favorite quote. I would be happy to stand for question.
Any more questions? I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned. Thank you all.